Hi there, I'm Jen, this is Remembered Reads, and this is going to be the book giving tag. I was tagged by Hannah from Hannah's Books, and this tag was created by Taking Tea with Catherine. I will link to both of those channels and their videos below. Question number 1 is, do you give books as gifts, and if so, to whom? In the past, I used to give my mother these collections of Best British Mysteries and Best American Mysteries annually, and for whatever reason, I have not been doing that since I've moved back to Toronto, but for a long time, that was what I considered a successful gift because she enjoys mysteries and that way I don't need to keep track of where she is in the various series. I also give books to my sister. I gave her Washington Black a couple of years ago, which she then gave back to me, so that was convenient. She's quite a minimalist, so she doesn't keep books. We know each other's taste and we follow each other on Goodreads, which means we're likely to know what we have or haven't read, which is useful. But the main people that I give books to are my nephew, who's 4 years old, and occasionally my teenage niece gets some books from me as well. But yeah, mostly gifts for kids. And when a lot of my friends' kids who are much younger, I used to give them more books. Once the kids get older, you have to be more in touch with their tastes, and I think that's hard if you're not seeing people on a day-to-day basis. So. Question number 2 is, do you receive books as gifts, and are they usually successful? Most people don't give me books as gifts just because they know how much I read, so they know they have no way of keeping track of what I've actually read. The exception to that is my sister, who, as I said, both knows me very well and is connected on Goodreads with me. She just sent me these 2 books as a New Year's present. Margaret Macmillan's War, How Conflict Shaped Us, and Shani Mutu's Polar Vortex, both of which were things that I've been wanting to read and have not read yet. So yeah, that was successful. But I wouldn't trust anyone other than my sister to get that kind of thing right. Question number 4 is, do you consider used books to be successful gifts? Sure. I mean, especially, I gave a used book to my mother without getting too specific. She wanted, there was a history book that came out of a particular city for the anniversary of its name change, I think. And this was a book that came out in the 80s, and it's long out of print, and it was, you could only get that secondhand, so that was a great gift, because how else were you going to find that? It was obscenely expensive, the shipping on that. Anyway, and I know as a teenager, one of my cousins, who was a bit younger than me, gave me a used book, and it was the first time he had bought gifts on his own, and so I think he gave everybody secondhand somethings. So, and I thought that was a good gift, because I guess at the time I was probably 16 or 17 and he was maybe 12, so it's kind of nice at that age for something thoughtful that's not expensive. Question number 5 is, if you could receive a gift card for any bookshop or book website, what would you choose? I feel like with the support local bookshops trend, I have to say The Beguiling, which is a Toronto comic book shop, and art shop actually, because they just have fantastic choices and options and everything. But from a purely selfish perspective, I think Indigo and Renaud Bray are obviously the 2 big chains here in Canada, the equivalent of Barnes & Noble or Waterstones or what have you. Getting gift cards for them is always useful. Question 6 is, gift wrapping, gift bag, or bear presentation? I'm more of a fan of bear presentation. I mean, I know gift bags are reusable, but they're just another thing you have to store, and gift wrapping is just a waste of tree, so I prefer bear presentation. Question number 7 is, can you communicate to others when a book is a lend and not a gift? And I would say, given the number of people who have stolen the books that I've lent to them, clearly I cannot, because I'd never get those back. I mean, I have occasionally gotten things back, but most of the time I haven't gotten them back. Question number 8 is, have you ever given anyone an ebook? And I guess my answer to that is no. Question 9 is, name 5 books you'd love to receive as gifts. These are not books, but individual floppies of comics I don't normally buy anymore because I don't think they're good value for money. But I noticed that Image Comics is putting out a mini-series connected to the Old Guard series, and the covers are going to create a single panel, so I think it would be neat to have the individual issues so that you have the full panel, because eventually there'll be a collected edition, but it's probably not going to be a pullout that you'll have in the full length, so somebody could buy me that because I'm too cheap to buy that. Anyway, I don't think that's a 5 issues, I think that's a 4-issue series. And question number 10 is to tag some people. I am so late in getting to this that I feel like a lot of people will have done this, because I feel like I think this is a tag a lot of people were doing if they were doing Vlogmas or Vlogmica. I don't know, I think that's what Hannah was doing actually. So any of those things which had a gift-giving theme. However, if you missed doing this in December or back in the summer when Catherine created the tag, please consider yourself tagged. And yeah, that's it for now. Ciao.